Hi everyone, and you're welcome back to our video series. In this series, we are designing an AI agent system that can be used for candidate selection. This can be applied in for HR services as well as for accelerators that want to narrow down startups from a very large pool. So we've been able to cover some sections of this course. The first thing we've covered is we've covered the overall view of what our AI agent is going to look like. And also, the last video, we talked about the problem. We got to understood the problem, right? Now, in today's video, today's session, I'm going to be taking a further dive and we're going to be talking about what we call the solution architecture. Now, this is a very interesting part for me because in this place, we're going to break down the various components of our product, what the AI agent is going to look like, and what are the core systems or the engine that will run our application. All right, so let's just move on. All right, now as you can see, I've been able to crop this from my Notion docs just to bring it here on a slide deck. Now, what you can see here is the first part you can see is the data ingestion. Now, these forms are the core basis or the core foundation of our AI agent system. All right, now don't forget this. What we're trying to do is we are building basically an AI agent, right? That we want to use. So we want to say, okay, AI agent, now select for me some sections of candidate from a very large pool. Now this could be, like I said, this could be for HR. You want to select hires, right? Or this could be for accelerators. You want to narrow down startups to invest in. So basically, this is a particular tool you can use or a system you can use to streamline and aid this process. Now, the very first thing here you can see here is the data ingestion, right? Now, these forms are bases. Now, for example, don't forget we are getting our data from forms. This can be Google Forms. This can be there could be Notion. There could be Airtable, right? Various forms, right? Or various links. So basically, this is the source. This is like the bottom, the downstream part of it, right? So we're going to be putting this data up. Now, this data will need to be validated, all right, because this is basically like a pipeline. It needs to be validated, right? So now once I get my data from the forms, from the various forms, we validate data, then we basically process it. Now we apply what we call the filtering system, right? So we develop what we call the filtering system or the filtering engine. In this place, we want to filter, okay, for example, we want to say we don't need this certain information from this particular candidate or user, so let's take it out. So we basically create that filter system. The next thing that we want to do is we want to apply what we call the AI, more like the NLP AI system or tagging system, right? But in this place, I'll call it what we call a classification. Now here we are creating clusters. So basically, we need a form of classification system that will classify the various candidates into different pools. Don't forget that we've covered some of this already in our previous videos, right? The next thing again we're looking at is the ranking and scoring agent. Now in this place, from our clusters, we're going to say now rank. Now we could rank the buckets or the clusters. We could rank them individually, or we could rank them. Like, I mean that you could rank them by buckets, or you could rank the candidates across the entire different classifications, right? So this could also happen, right? So basically we call the ranking and the scoring system. And yet, so we could also, now one very interesting thing here is we can make it very dynamic in the sense that in terms of we can adjust the parameters just to suit depending on the expectations of the client, right? Now the next thing again is we also want to be concerned about the bias. So in this place, we're going to be applying what we call the bias framework or the bias detection. Right now, we don't want to. We want to be very very plain in terms of how we're selecting the candidate, and also because AI systems or software systems can be trained to be biased as well. So in this place, we're going to be applying our bias filtering system. That way, we are very much aware that the system is free from bias, right? So yeah, the next thing again we want to do is we want to see like the real-time dashboard, right? So for example, it means that once I've been able to break I have my clusters from 2000, I have my clusters of 100, then I have the second one of 50, then I have another one of the 10, like the top 10. Don't forget that we are breaking them in those clusters. We're going to have for those if it's going to be using an accelerator, you have like, okay, well, let's classify the founders by industry. Is it the fintech? Is it the agri-tech? Is it the energy tech? Or let's classify them by their business stage. Are they pre-seed? Are they MVP? Or that kind of classification. Or if it's in the HR space, let's classify them by the various departments that they've applied from or their various skill sets. So these are different components that form our entire solution architecture. The last part is that we want to create something we call like the multi-perspective selection engine, right? Now, what I mean here is that we are building our system that can be used by various reviewers, right? So in some, like in the case of accelerators, for example, you have different reviewers like that are cross-checking the applications, trying to see. Now, what a reviewer A might look for might be different from what a reviewer B might be looking for. So in this way, we could factor it that, okay, let's factor the various input from these various reviewers, and that way we can categorize it and classify it into one particular input. All right, so thank you for coming to this very interesting session. Once again, I'm Tulade, and the next session we're going to cover more on building an AI agent system that can be used in candidate selection. All right, thank you. And